Welcome, everyone. Silima, are we live? Is it up? Hold on, let me double check. I don't know what's going on, you guys. It's one of those days. So apparently Mars is, or not Mars, Mercury's in retrograde again today. So, welcome everyone to a very special, the very first episode of Sidereal Astrology, Myth, Magic, Mysteries, and more of 2026. We have a phenomenal show for you today. We're going to change your life. You're going to get the most awesome forecast that you could possibly get. And I know this because I went back and I watched the forecast for last year. And we kind of nailed it. I'm just being honest with you. I mean, we definitely got it. We hit a few different, mostly we did a global forecast last year. This year, I think maybe we'll, and I don't know how you guys want to run it today, maybe briefly touch on the global side of things and then do a little bit more specific to who's echoing double sound. Do you guys hear echo?
I don't hear an echo.
Mary Mystic Lorna, is that me echoing? Can you guys all hear me echoing?
Oh no.
Man, I sure hope not.
I sure hope not. I don't hear you echo at all.
No, none of us hear it for sure. All right, well, wait 1 second. Maybe that's happening. I guess you guys just get to hear my awesome intro multiple times as I echo obnoxiously while we're figuring that out. So what else were we doing? We have a very special guest today with us, Traton McClain. Traton, I didn't stay because I was running late. World of Bliss. Hey there. Sound is good for me so far. All right. Good to know. Traton, what's your YouTube channel so people can find you and subscribe? Everybody go sub.
Oh, yes. My YouTube channel is called Traton Astrology. Also, the handle is Traton Astro 2004. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. I will pop it in there after the show and make sure that it gets on there. Lorna says, still repeating double sound on all of you?
That's got Lorna. I had the best time of my life trying to get everything hooked up like 5 seconds ago, 5 minutes ago.
Meltdown.
I threw my phone. I have classic Mars and Aries reaction.
Yeah. So
like, how does this happen?
If anybody else has any sound issues, let us know. We'll see if we can troubleshoot. Otherwise, let's see here. Okay, so if you guys let me try to focus my brain for 1 second. I think, so having watched it last year, it was actually really hard to go through and figure out what, because we jumped around a lot. So I think this year what we should do, so it make it easier to, to go back next time and verify, is to hit it one at a time.
Yeah.
If you guys want, I'm probably the least prepared of all of you. I like to wing it. I think Traton's very prepared. It sounded like before we got on the call, it sounded like that was the case.
Oh my God.
If you let me run through a 1 year here for everyone, just a global, I'll see if I can pinpoint any major dates. Hopefully you guys, again, if you're just joining us, if we're echoing, you got to let us know. If anybody else hears the echo, Mary Mystic Lorna hears that. World of Bliss does not hear it. Welcome, everybody. Happy 2026. All right. What is today, you guys?
It is the 7th today.
Lorna, is it happening on X too? Because we should be streaming on X. We better be. I do want to go back. Hold on. I want to go back to the other day, which was
oh my gosh.
First.
We got a lot going on. The next few cycles are going to be a little intense.
If you guys recall, we talked on the last show we did, we talked about that Venus-Mars conjunction that was coming up in Sagittarius. And if you recall, we mentioned Venus and Mars being gods of war, and in Sagittarius can themselves be pretty violent and aggressive and just generally not good if they're left to their own devices. Now, the sun is also conjunct with both of these at the same time. This was on the 3rd. Now, I bring this up because the elephant in the room is such that most of the time when we talk about global events, we tend to talk more about what's going on in our own regions of the world. When we do a global forecast, it's very general because, you know, stuff going on in the US is not necessarily what's going on in Russia, what's not going on in China, what's not going on in Argentina, right? But once in a while, we get some events that affect all of planet Earth. And the Trump administration's decision to kidnap a world leader all of planet Earth.
The first thing I saw in the news, you guys, was they can't wait to turn it into a golf course. We're taking over. It's going to be great. It's going to be the new billionaire getaway. I was like, oh my God, this is super villainy. Like, this is super villain shit. This is super villain shit. Guys.
It is exactly that. As a matter of fact, and it's bizarre to me because when I see people talking about it, they don't seem to understand the scope of it. So, for just very briefly, which this applies to this, I believe that this is the result of this particular conjunction. Now, Venus and Mars become conjunct plenty of times throughout, you know, every few years or whatever. It's not really that big of a deal, but it is again happening in one of our war-like constellations. So the United States likes to pretend like it's the most virtuous country, despite having all of the military bases, despite doing all of the things, right? What's really bizarre about this, one of the things that's very bizarre, is that they're just not pretending. And that, to his maybe credit, is something that Donald Trump does, which is where he says the quiet part out loud, where everybody else is like, oh no, it's for, you know, they're narco terrorists or whatever. Yeah, but really we want the oil, we want it. So I guess good for him for being honest. But here's where like the people do not seem to be grasping the severity of this. This is exactly, so people are like, why did Putin invade Ukraine? This type of thing is exactly why. Because whatever the United States or some of these other Western countries or whatever they're saying on the surface, everybody knows. All these world leaders know. Like, no, this is empire building. They're not going to stop. They're gonna find every which way to destroy you. It is a constant for the last 50, 60 years. That's been the trope, right? Like we're gonna regime change everybody that we don't like, and we're gonna put in puppet governments and everything. And what just happened was they basically, all these other leaders now, the gloves are off. They have no reason to ever trust the United States administration again.
Ever.
On top of all the other stuff that's going on with the United States, and basically, you know, they're looting the treasury, which, by the way, guys, I went back and watched that solar return for the U.S. last year, and it was like, this is its make or break year, and it definitely broke, which doesn't bode well, so it'll be interesting to take a look at. But I did want to bring this up because that event affects the entire Earth, because every single world leader now knows you can't trust the United States. They might just come in and like completely illegally kidnap you. And that's kind of game over, right? For any type of trust that the United States had. So do you guys want to touch on that before I start digging into this?
And always keeps on running his mouth about sending folks back to their countries and trying to deport people. Meanwhile, he's literally going over to another country that he doesn't like his damn self, you know, trying to start some stuff. So, you know, that, yeah, like, yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
I think he's taken out the competition. He's probably a big drug dealer. I mean, most billionaires and millionaires and
Nikki,
people are, you know, they are. So, I mean,
I'm so glad that you said that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There's side businesses, there's side quests, and he has a lot of friends. So when somebody moves in on your business, you know, what do? You take it over. So cocaine is really one hell of a drug. You know, if you've ever watched.
I was gonna bring up
pretty popular.
Yeah.
What were you gonna bring up?
I was gonna bring up Trump's chart just to like kind of, you know, also like kind of expound on that a little bit, because I was like, yeah, I'm like, I looked at that, I'm like, yeah, there's definitely some things with substances, definitely some things involved there. Yeah. So that's why I'm glad that you brought.
I suspect he's just compromised. I mean, I don't know for sure, but he's definitely his strings are being pulled. So that'll be interesting. That's a nice way to start the year, I guess. It's gonna be fun. So let's take a look here. I am going to, what do we have moving around for us? So my screen is tiny today. I wanted to make sure I could see us all. As things also, this group, okay, these collaborators, they start moving into Capricorn.
It's like a marketing group project, you guys. It's like the whole gang's there and they're like, let's visit Pluto. Let's see what he's got to say about all this.
Yeah, I think
Pluto's gonna say.
I think this is gonna intensify everything. I think if the sun wasn't able to calm, now granted, who knows what crisis we averted at the same time? It could have been maybe much worse, but I think that's these are the things that have been set in motion. I do think moving into Capricorn, which is going to put a lot of time and energy and intensity into everything at the end of the month, is only going to kind of exacerbate things. Mercury and Venus in the fish side of Pisces going into Aries, we're probably not going to have the clarity emotionally or mentally. Again, this is global, that we maybe need to navigate these situations as a collective that can maybe result in some chaos. Now, you guys may or may not know, but Aquarius, despite being a wonderful constellation, this was Enki, and he does have a very strong libido and sex drive that does get him into trouble when he does not properly channel some of that creative power. It can be self-destructive. Are we seeing some of this as Mercury and Venus and the Sun and Mars all kind of swarm through here? Yeah, possibly. February could be a continuation and be kind of rough. I would say, fortunately for just my own work right now, everything's kind of in the same part of the sky, which is also not great for like the world overall, because it's really intensifying some of these energies. But there could be issues with communication, technology. If there's going to be deception, major deceptions that could be going on during this time. By the way, guys, I'm not going to make all the technical difficulties that we have. I won't rehash it, but I did take notes from last year. And if you guys, so going back to what I was saying before, and my notes are too messy to read, of course, but we talked about Mercury and Mars being that conjunction in October, right around like the second week of October, which I had mentioned we mentioned this in other places in the U.S., a solar return, like a lot of people being sad and crying and stuff. That was when the Charlie Kirk assassination happened, which again, maybe on the surface seems like it's just affecting the United States. It's absolutely not. This is, it relates to a global issue. That organization that Charlie Kirk ran was a major part of electing Donald Trump, and they were turning away from he was turning away from Israel, turning away from the regime. Supposedly he turned down like $1 billion from Benjamin Netanyahu. And he was going to start turning the tides. He was a big voice in trying to get the Trump administration not to bomb Iran. I'm sure he would have told them not to, go into Venezuela. So again, that one individual, while it seems like this is an American issue, this is actually something that affects, war and peace around the world. So those again are the types of things that we're looking for. Now, if you guys may or may not know, I'm a big fan of Saturn and Neptune, which are still conjunct over here in this period, but because everything's starting out on such now I don't know how you guys do it. I read the chart as a progression. I read it as it's telling a story. So what are the events that we're starting out with and how's that going to play out moving forward? This to me could be very volatile, and this is going to be at the beginning of March. This reads to me like possibly, yes, a 3-month period or more, maybe 4 months, as we're going to see here, of a lot of really intense energy, a lot of what's the word? Unpredictability. Is that the word I'm looking for? Maybe.
Yeah.
This, the first week in March too, when we have these conjunctions here, is that going to be a good thing or a bad thing? Venus tends to calm down a little bit when she's in Pisces. At least I think she does. But I just don't know that she's not still carrying some of that warlike energy from what we saw earlier. So then throughout into March, mid-March, we have the new moon. A lot of intense energy over there. I really hope, if anything, though, that it's starting to, like, people are pulling away from, and we talked about that last year too. I don't know if you got a chance to look at it, Nikki, but like we talked about people associating from the system, which
it's still happening. People are still like, I want to check out, but reality's staring them right in the face, and they can't deny like what it is they're really seeing anymore. It's kind of crazy. So.
Yes. I think that we're basically looking at, I hesitate to even try to break it down, because again, I think we're building, I think the dominoes are falling throughout this entire period. Obviously the first quarter looks the most, I would say the most extreme. We have more potential for maybe some really obvious serious issues. Venus and Jupiter here in Gemini, I think, and this is going to be in right around the beginning of summer, can really intensify some already strained relationships that can forge new relationships too. But are those the kind of relationships we want to forge right now? I don't know. Jupiter is going to be moving into Cancer. What happened here? Into like later in the summer. I think it's going to go, is it going retrograde? No.
Yeah, you're excited about that too. I know when Jupiter like hit Cancer the last time, just that little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this feels so
yes,
good.
I am. Yeah. I know you're like, oh, please get out of Gemini already.
I don't know why, but Gemini just lights me up in different ways. And I just, anytime I get a Gemini trans, I'm like, why God? But all right. It takes some adjustment. That's it. That's all I'm saying. It just takes me some time to adjust.
I think, I don't know, nor I don't have any bad feelings about Cancer.
No, but Jupiter is still like in opposition with Pluto, so it kind of it's in that hard aspect. So how we deal with money and what we're doing with wealth and movement of wealth and all of that stuff, I think, is affected. But
well, I suspect some shady business is going to go down.
That's
right around beginning of August. Yeah, that's how I kind of want to read that right now. When we get into Mars and Gemini, traditionally not the best situation. I mean, he is going home, but again, that's an intense environment for him. A lot of emotional, just like a lot of emotional intensity. He's going to get into Cancer. Maybe that'll be a little bit better, but everything's kind of lumping in down here again in the around the October time period.
Oh my God.
I don't outright see, and I haven't looked into it in, extreme detail. Maybe you guys will be able to pick something up, but I don't see, again, if we're looking for the financial collapse or something like that on a global level, I don't necessarily see that. I think there are more fluctuations in here. And then we're going to be in a similar situation come the end of next year. So to me, most of it looks like the biggest intense parts are going to be earlier on here in the beginning of the year. I'll leave it to Traton or Nikki, who wants to go first. Where do you want to look at here for the year?
Oh, yeah, we can riff off each other too, Traton. Like all of us. Like,
okay, we could.
Totally. Like I really see like everything when it starts collaborating with Pluto. I think that's when the shit really starts getting real. We're gonna see just such a level of transformation and change. I just it's moving that lunar cycle has us moving then into the first eclipse of the season. And this one's actually really interesting because it only opposes the south node. It doesn't even make any contact with the north node at all. It's not even in orb. So it's a really odd eclipse. It's kind of a rare occurrence. So activating that south node to me just signals like release. There's going to be like loss. There's going to be some type of, loss without recuperation, and without any direction in the future. That one is just really strange because I've only been following eclipses for like a few years now, and they're always like, "Ooh, it's on the nodes, right?"
Is that the January one or February?
The February 17th one.
Then that's still so close to Sagittarius too. That's not good, you guys.
Dude, it's not. So it's not. It's like all of it's in with the South Node and Leo, it's like all of this because I said so kind of authority shit, that we've been dealing with. And it's all hollowed out and empty. And we know they don't represent the people anymore.
Oh.
So it's kind of one of those things where it's just, people are going to get pissed. I mean, you got everything moving into Aquarius too, after that, February 17th, everything is already kind of moved in. I think Venus and Mercury will be with the North Node during that eclipse too. I mean, it might soften it a little bit, but I think we're going to see like old relationships, the way we do like commerce and money and everything that's definitely going to change. I see this eclipse being eventful, but not in like the best possible scenario eventful, especially moving into, that Capricorn Aquarius cusp is a little on the intense side, I think. I don't know, my moon's there. So, I mean, there's this like pull between, wanting freedom and then wanting to have routine and structure. And we know that things just aren't working out. And like the Saturn Neptune conjunction, and it's been conjunct. I mean, we can't just say, oh, it's not like they've been close enough.
It hit last summer.
Yeah,
they were right on top of each other.
Really, really seeing a lot of the mercy systems, like anything that has to do with helping anybody suffer. Like we're not seeing funding for these people who need healthcare. Homelessness is at an all-time high here in my country. It's just really, really. I think that's the beginning of something a lot more intense.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off of that, now I haven't really, contrary to like, what y'all said about me being more like ready for this, I didn't really look too much into the rest of the year.
No, that's okay. That last year, I think I got halfway through and I was like, I don't know, I'm just going to wing it because I didn't get a chance to look.
Looking more, I'm still paying attention to what Saturn's doing, because the fact that we're in a number 1 year is that, the popular thing to always be like is, there's new beginnings, there's new stuff happening, there's more taking charge and leadership in your own life, and this is going to be an influence for a lot of people. But like, I still told people even on my like personal social medias that like Instagram, for example, that even though like all of these new beginnings and stuff are happening, we're still seeing stuff come to an end. And so definitely like all of the like extreme like fluctuations in like the economy, all of the like, governmental things happening with every country, not just the US, like all of it is still like kind of going hand in hand with this Saturn in Pisces conjunct Neptune in Pisces story, because Saturn in Pisces is like it's limiting well, one, it's okay. So the way that I read a lot of transits that happen is that I always kind of like see it as like a conversation in a way. Like, what do I mean by that? I mean, I always see it as like the planet will influence the sign, but the sign will also influence the planet. So, for example, like we're seeing like that government officials, even at this time, like, I mean, Nikki, you and I would like know, like, because we live in the US, like they don't know what they're doing. They're getting lost in everything. They're trying to do, and it's almost like, it's like the escapism coming from Pisces is like turned up to the max with Saturn here, but also at the same time it's like how this is affecting us like as just common people. Like we're also just like kind of trying to figure out like, okay, so what do I need to do to like survive in this this state, because like this is like absolutely getting out of control. It's chaotic, it's escapist, it's like it's fantastic, but it's not in a, it's like it's fantastical in a like kind of weird way. But also when I think about the story of like what was going on with the constellation Pisces, at least like from a a Greek perspective, like I kind of see some parallels, because like there's this big giant monster Typhon and everyone was running away, and it kind of seems like that's the thing that's like happening here globally. Like I always say that Saturn like represents the world in one aspect, and also also Pisces represents the world in one aspect, because Pisces also rules over foreign lands. So, you know, foreign lands, that could literally be anything to anybody. And so that just means that everyone's like kind of just like looking at each other like as like a part.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because Jupiter rules Pisces in the classical sense, and we look at what Jupiter's doing in Gemini, and he'll go direct in, you know, at the beginning of February. And it's like, what do I believe? You have all of these different stories, all these different channels, and all these different things. And it's like, well, follow the money trail. Yeah. Like follow.
So Pisces, the effect that it's having on Saturn's effect on Pisces, on a flip note too, is that the governments are destroying themselves, because Pisces, I mean, y'all already know, rules over endings as well. So this is so that's why I said like on a video one time, like just like last night, actually, you know, I already started to notice that some things were going down 2026, and I was already letting people know, look, if this year does not go out the way that you want it to, or that you expect it to, like, do not be discouraged, because even though we're in a 1 year and that there's new things happening, we're still going through an active period where our world, as the way that we knew it from, you know, years and years ago, is coming to an end.
It is. It's like a slow motion fall.
Yeah,
it's like watching somebody fall in slow motion, and you're like they can't do anything to help them. They're like, they're gonna break their hip.
Also, with Neptune is also like dissolving stuff, so I'm like, yeah, that kind of also just like confirms it for me. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely seeing a lot of like dissolving within people. It's almost like, you know, there's also like this kind of more rise to people wanting to be a little bit more inward or isolated, you know, or just to themselves, because there's just so much going on. It's like we're in the waters, like the water is like at the table of like the global, you know, the global conversation. The waters is at the table, but also like when we're living in a world where, you know, also climate change is a thing, you know, like we also have to really think about the waters, because it's like, well, think about it, because I mean, also, Nikki, like we also know about like kind of the rise of AI and stuff. And also, if you see me looking to the side, it's also because like I have like,
oh god, I got screens everywhere. It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah,
I'm a mess today.
Here, so I'm like kind of going.
Yeah, I got notes too. I'm like,
but it's like we already know, like even with AI, it's like I live in Arkansas, but I go to school in Tennessee, and I go to school in Memphis. I go to University of Memphis, and the students constantly keep on talking about like the AI, Elon's AI supercomputer that's like using up like gallons and gallons of water. So it's like we're seeing how like literally like on the Saturn affecting Pisces end as well, we're also seeing that there's also a contamination happening.
Yeah,
water, like it's getting expanded so much to the point where it's like, you know, this contamination of water is not just any contamination of water, because you can just say that with, you know, any transit, but it's specifically for the purposes of growing something to make other people have like all these different like career sectors. But like if it's like using solely AI and stuff, like, you know, it's contributing to like the loss of the Pisces things, like in the other things.
Yeah, it's totally like it's telling how human are you if you're not integrating tech. Like it's stealing your humanity, really. I mean, it's swiping the resources, and they want this merging of the human with tech, and they're already talking about it. Like, oh, we got microchips, we got all this stuff. Like, if you're not merged with tech, like you're not with it. You're not human enough. You're not like. And I think Uranus and Taurus is going to be big double middle fingers to that. I really do, because I think people are sick of it. We got all this whole big, beautiful world to live in, and we're all stuck working 12 hours a day.
But that's
exactly like nobody wants that. Yeah.
It's like, even for me, it's like I started to think about, okay, so if I were to even be in a situation, because you already know, like some people are even talking about like, okay, the economy is not, you know, people are getting multiple jobs but still not being able to make ends meet. Like, so my thing is, I'm trying to think about, okay, so is what I'm saying supposed to be telling us that we cannot be trusting the government, that we have to like, you know, try to do something ourselves, or we have to try to escape this mess ourselves. Because that's kind of what I'm getting. I'm getting like,
that's
totally it. That's
but
totally
my thing is, I don't think it only just limit itself to the government, because it's like I see this in other ways too. It's like I think just authority figures in general, like I think it's affecting them a lot. And it's like I'm kind of starting to see, like, you know, sometimes like even when it comes to even school, for example, even professors, it's like technical difficulties, no consistency with like whatever the lesson plan maybe is. But it's also on the flip side is that, well, they're burnt out, they're overworked, underpaid, and they're tired of dealing with people, you know, coming in school, you know, just, you know, making a mess, and, you know, just not doing anything to actually like contribute. So like it's like it always, like that's how I read transits, like it always goes those ways. But like also with the Jupiter and Gemini thing, like especially with that being like the ruler of like everything going on in Sagittarius right now, and then even with Saturn and Pisces, Neptune and Pisces, like it's expanding this information, but at the same time it's almost like we have like an uncontrollable like urge to just know everything, and it's like it's kind of fucking us up, like in a way. I don't know if that's how it is for y'all, but like I feel like it's kind of fucking me up in a way. Like I also have started to hear people say that no one was supposed to always be online this much, no one was always supposed to know this much going on in the world. And that, you know, people who are saying this like on social media, and I'm saying like on YouTube, like on Instagram, on TikTok, even though I don't got TikTok anymore, but you know, other people make reaction videos to TikToks. So, but yeah, it's pretty much like the same thing. I think a lot of people are even wanting to get away from online because of this. And it's because like all of this, and not only that, especially even now with all of the oppositions that are about to happen a couple more days, with the Sun to Jupiter, Venus to Jupiter, Mars to Jupiter. Like I think like definitely everyone's kind of getting tired of feeling like their brains are being fried, like they're too overstimulated. It's like they got too much going on. There's too much. And not only that, but this is not only just technologically, this is also affecting businesses. Like even at my job, it's like, you know, my general manager whose sun is conjunct this Jupiter transit, actually, she doesn't know that though, but I do. But still, like she's still conjuncting this. And it's like, you know, she's starting to get a little bit more serious, starting to get a little bit more stern, strict, or whatever, because it's like, you know, all of the information over the past year and stuff, like about how she hasn't been doing her job, you know, necessarily the best from her own higher ups. What were we saying about authority? Like, you know, it's making her even want to just like kind of just tune like all of the other stuff out and just kind of focus. So I think that's also another thing too. It's like Jupiter and Gemini is giving us a greater focus on ourselves, because Gemini is definitely a survivalist type of energy. Like it's definitely focused on like self-preservation, but this is also like the constellation and the sign of like the, you know, the kind of the cultural gatekeeper. So it's like, honestly, I think now in retrospect, and I think within like a couple of more years when I get, you know, older and stuff, like if this transit ever happens again, like I think I know now how to deal with it more appropriately. Definitely try to spend some more time outside, but also try to spend some more time with your family. And that can even be chosen family. That doesn't have to just be biological family, even though I mean that can be implied there. But I mean, like, still, just try to spend some more time in the car. You know, go. I mean,
that's good medicine.
I already know they're a bitch, but
definitely good medicine. People need it. People need to hear that. They need to hear where's the medicine. They don't want to hear like all the bad stuff all the time.
Right.
Like, how do I survive this? You know, the eclipse kicks a lot of things off, and I think it'll help people realize, you know, they need to make. We're going to see, governments are going to see all of these people gather and be like, we need to make new alliances. We need to come up with new ways to do business. I mean, especially seeing, you know, Mercury and Venus conjunct the North Node. We also have Uranus square Mars at the same time. Uranus and Taurus and Mars and Capricorn, you know, so yeah, my Capricorn's like,
and you said that was on the 17th of February.
That's around there. Yeah. It was around there, so like
I'm trying to pull up all the aspects too.
Yeah, I mean Mars and Capricorn. I mean, I don't think it hesitates to make a move, and I don't think Uranus and Taurus is going to negotiate. I just see it just being a challenging time. There could be some challenges. Stuff we have to deal with resource wise. Could be eventful. I mean, it just could be eventful. The eclipse. Yeah. We always say that about eclipses. And
and then I see even with that conjunction to the moon that Mars has there, like I can see that too. Like I can see Uranus like triggering something suddenly, and then like there's a fight over something home related, emotions related, mother related. Like I can see that. Yeah,
like shocks. I mean, there could be something shocking, violent, maybe. I mean, it is Mars. I mean, but it is Uranus Mars too, and Uranus isn't exactly like Saturn or Mars with their malefic intent. Usually Uranus is about freedom and liberation and showing us a different path, versus it being like, I don't know, like Saturn Mars. When Saturn Mars were square a couple weeks ago, I was like evil. I had so many crash outs. It was but it was all over my south node. So I mean, it was like the purge on a emotional level. It was just insane. So I was like, God damn it. I thought I didn't even think about the aspects. I was like, this is gonna be sexy and fun, and everything's gonna be great, and this is the new year, and I'm so excited. And then I just had a fucking crash out like no other, like a bunch of them too. So I was like, God damn it, I forgot about Saturn squares. Oh,
April 20th, right around that window, probably a important time period. There was something else I wanted to show you guys when I was looking. I think it was it there we go.
Oh yeah, that right there.
No, November.
And that's with the south node too.
Yeah, that's gonna be that could be bad. That could definitely be bad.
Yeah. That's with Leo, I mean, Leo, I think what we've seen with the United States and Leo is like they're very performative. They're very dramatic. They're very charismatic, and trust me. You just gotta trust me.
It's like, okay. Oh, I kind of don't like. Oh,
well, Jupiter, something's gonna go too far. Like,
no, because that's gonna be in Trump's first house.
You guys.
I ain't got time.
Let me tell you a story. You guys want to hear a story?
Yeah, I love stories.
All right. So this is from the Era epic, and I'm going to butcher it, you guys. So this is a story from Babylon. There are more copies of this particular story than there are, I believe, of the Flood Myths and the Epic of Gilgamesh. It is a very important story. If you get a chance, go on. If you don't have it, Benjamin Foster's Myth Tales and Poetry or something to that effect from ancient Mesopotamia. It's on the Internet Archive. I'm pretty sure you can rent a copy and read it on there. It's definitely worth your time. Okay. So there is a story. So in Babylon, they called Mars Era, but it's the same god, Nergal. Mm-hmm. And in Babylon, Jupiter was Marduk. It wasn't Enlil at this period. This was already like later on. So Marduk was the supreme god. He was originally a storm god, and then he just kind of became the god of all the things. Well, basically, the Pleiades tell Mars, they're like, hey, wasn't it cool when you were killing a bunch of people? Like, that was way more fun than just sitting around at home like a lisping child or an old man eating bread. He's like, yeah, that was pretty cool. They're like, well, let's go and like wreak some havoc. And so he's like, okay, let's do it. So they convince him to go and
the story.
Wait, you said Pleiades? You said the Pleiades?
The Pleiades, yeah. Those were the weapons of Mars, the seven Sabiti, or they're like these, like either figuratively or literally his weapons. So he's like, so they go and he goes to Jupiter or Marduk, Jupiter, in the heavens, and he convinces him, hey, your diadem, your crown, your throne is getting dusty and, you know, needs help since the last flood. There's been some damage to it. You need to go and handle that, right? And he's like, oh yeah, you're right, I probably should, but I got to stay here and be the god of the heavens. And Era's like, no, I'll handle it. You don't worry about it. I'll take over for you right now, you know? So he sends Marduk off. And they specifically say that Jupiter leaves his station, his dwelling in the heavens. He leaves his orbit, and his going out of his normal station where he's supposed to be caused the original deluge. This was according to the Babylonians. This is not like some Zechariah Sitchin Wu stuff. This is literally according to their record. So he once again he sends Marduk away, and he's the king of heaven and everything's great and he's taking care of it, he's rocking it. Well, then something, basically Marduk gets done, Jupiter, he gets done fixing his thing and he comes back. Well, now Era's pissed because he's like, I was just the king of the heavens. Now we have like this back and forth, and there's definitely this, it's symbolic of this this conflicting dominant kingship energy. I mean, they're both kings. They're both masters of their own universes. Jupiter being like the celestial sky, Marduk being the god of the underworld, the inner world, the spiritual world, whatever. And so these two forces coming together bring on their own a lot of just like trying to dominate one another. But now that itself isn't that terrible. I mean, those two come together relatively frequently, but they don't always come together right on top of Regulus, which is the king star, or originally the breast of the lion. Oh. This is basically symbolic of like, this is the throne of heaven. Who's going to sit here? So you have these two powers. You have the underworld power and the celestial power, and they're just pulling at each other right on top of the space. I mean, it's not, I mean, it's, again, you guys know me. Look, if you ever watch the show, like, I'm Miss Sunshine over here. No, everything's gonna be fine.
I know. I was so afraid to say anything because I was like, I don't have a whole lot of positive things to say. I'm sure.
I don't have like a ton.
This is happening right on the south node, too. So this is definitely something everybody collectively is going to feel. Now, does this mean like every single country is going to deal with like a leadership change or a leadership loss?
Not a leadership change, but these things do affect the entire, and that's why we have to do the global forecast, and we have to remember that it's affecting this type of stuff affects everybody, like we talked about earlier. So the only thing I will say is the big global stuff does impact individuals, but we don't all feel it, like to the same degree. We're not like right up in it, but it affects us in the long term. What I will say that is a positive is sometimes you need to burn shit down before it's going to get fixed. So does it need to like the abscess, does it need to get so swollen and somebody lands it open and just have pus and nastiness bleed out and, become so obvious that the people actually do something about it? Probably, yeah. Because the more comfortable people are in their, their slow, like, when I was listening to you and Traton talking a second ago, Nikki, I really thought like you guys are describing the collapse of Western civilization.
Yeah. Like, it is. This is it. This is how it's transforming. It's
because wait, no, go, Nikki.
Oh, is it? Well, you got Jupiter and you got Mars. That's like justified violence. There you go. I mean, right on Regulus. So we're going to see some action. There's going to be something that changes, and it's going to be. Well, I mean, it's just generalizing the energies. I can't exactly describe it, but I mean, Leo is, has a lot to do with the ego, the self, it's charismatic. It's awesome. I love Leo, but it's dramatic. There's a lot of drama. Oh God, think about it. It's like Dynasty. You get like sex and violence and secrets and all the cool shit that comes with Leo. It's never boring. It's never boring. That's for sure.
I don't know. I just wish astrology. Sometimes I wish astrology was not like so. It like I don't.
Isn't it crazy watching like it actually happened when we follow True Sky. It's like insane. Like, I don't know how anybody's making up stories about Saturn and Neptune leaving Pisces for the last time ever. Like, if I got to hear that again, I'm like, we are not even contained yet. Yeah. You know, the spiritual burnout, the let's work and work and work with no boundaries. You know, that Saturn's like, nah, fam, that is not sustainable. Like, Saturn doesn't roll through Pisces and just dissolve. Saturn's like, hey, I'm floating. I'm the container.
It's just got there too.
Yeah. And Pisces is so vast and big. It's easy to get lost in Pisces and not have a direction and not know what the fuck is going on because it's an ocean of consciousness.
But it's aspecting me too in a less negative, well, I won't say it less negative way. I mean, I'm still experiencing an opposition, y'all. So like please bear with me. But
it's okay.
Like, it's also trining my natal Saturn in Cancer at 0 degrees. So like, you know, like,
yeah, I got Saturn square the nodes right now, and I'm like,
it's
all right. I'll grow up, fine.
I'm everything on the adulting thing. Like, I'm 21, by the way, just so y'all know. I'm 21, and I'm like, I don't like it here. I don't like adulting like this. I don't like it here. I can't do it.
Right. Well, you become the part of the generation that looks at everything, and you're like, what the fuck is this? What am I working for? What am I doing if it's like actually modern day slavery? Because that's what it is. It's like work 12 hours a day. Work forever because you have that good work ethic. Nobody wants to sit behind a desk anymore. And they're like, oh, AI is going to take over. Oh, okay. Well, what am I supposed to do for a job then? You know, like, I think we're going to end up going back to the way things used to be. I think we're going to have to start working with the land more. You know, everyone's like, yay, tech. And I am too. I'm like, yay, tech. I love tech. But I see it being used as a weapon. I don't see it helping humanity as much as it's going to hurt us in the long run, because we need to learn our lesson with it. We haven't learned yet.
I think it's a two-way street. I don't think it's inherently good or bad. I think it's just...
But the whole losing your humanity in it is kind of going to be the tipping point.
There's always going to be those people that go all in on being a cyborg.
Well, yeah, that is true.
That's a kink, actually. I think that's...
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
That's something.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I just can't. Like, I just can't. It's I'm gonna beware of that Jupiter in Leo. Because I mean, like, okay, Nikki, I like Leos too.
Yeah.
But I don't know, being someone who has a lot of water in their chart, the only Leo placement I have is Mercury in Leo. Like, I'm sorry,
it's crazy too, you guys. Watch, I'm going to show you again. So I know I just described this whole story where they're like they're fighting over this throne, but watch what happens. So Mars is going to get chased out of there a little bit, and then Jupiter's going to hang out. He's going to be victorious, but then he's going to retrograde. He's going to wander, leave his little station, and who's going to creep back up behind him?
Yes, I got that written down.
And try to retake it.
Oh my!
Yes.
Yep. And then they're going to fight again. They're going to have this little, spat, and then Jupiter's going to chase him back out. He's going to sit over there. So that runs us into like mid 2027.
Yeah.
If you're looking for like a long-term conflict to start, that's definitely
around it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because Mars doesn't go retrograde at all in 26. I mean, so there's like forward momentum going. I mean, whatever is rolling along is going to just continue to roll along, Mars themed. I mean,
yeah, we
still have all of these other retrogrades happening, the same ones that happen all the time, like our outer planets every 6 months or so go retrograde. I mean, that's not a big deal.
Always a retrograde.
But the Mars Venus conjunction really speaks to, like, in Sagittarius, like what we were talking about earlier, like that cycle really speaks to what it is that we're going to be doing later, feeling later, how we're acting later.
Like, go back to that a little bit.
Yeah.
I wanted to like kind of give the audience like just a little rundown of just like a little bit of some stuff that's like kind of.
Which one? Recently. The Venus one and Mars and Sagittarius, or which one?
Venus, Mars, and Sagittarius. So like really just back at January. So like we'll just like go back all the way to January, which is now.
26.
But like
this one.
Yeah, so already like I've kind of seen like even some stuff dealing with that. Like I was I was about to like rant about it earlier, before we even got started. And Nikki has like
I was like,
but like
I
was like talking about like how, you know, people rest in peace to them, lost their lives at a ski resort. They were supposed to be having fun, but you know, pyrotechnics, like accidents happen, but not really. You're supposed to know how to do your job anyways. So yeah, that's one thing that happened. Also, a woman went hiking on a mountain. She got mauled by a mountain lion.
I'm not laughing at what you're saying. I was laughing at Trish in the comments. Sorry if anybody's watching and you think I'm laughing at death.
I forgot about the comments. I forgot about everything. I'm just into the
No, you guys are good.
Yeah, you're right. I saw an interview with a guy who was talking about it, who was at the resort when those explosions happened, and I was traumatized listening to his story.
Like I'm just like, it's just
I'm like melting people. That's all you have to say. I'm done. Like we're not visiting this. So yeah, I haven't been watching the news. So when you were telling me about it, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Oh, also everyone brace yourself for impact. We're about to like, you know, go into some other stuff here, but like also with Venus, like kind of that Venus Mars, Venus, as y'all already know, is like already like kind of a sexual planet. And Mars, like it will create conflict and it can also add to the sexual energy. But I think that's also why like a lot of people, especially with Mercury and Sagittarius right now, like for example, Will Smith is like kind of is like going through, you know, a lot of legal stuff here because like I'm gonna say alleged, but you know, I'm gonna say alleged, but you know, just keep myself safe. But yeah, so
what did he do? Tell me.
He sexually assaulted like one of like his like I think kind of workers. Like it was a violinist, and it was like really sad to like hear about like how the ways that like, you know, he would like kind of manipulate him. Like one of the major incidents was an incident that happened at a hotel where like he was told to come there, but then like, you know, as soon as the violinist got to the room, like he noticed all this stuff that was going on. Now the story, I'm a little bit foggy on the story because like I just like caught wind of this, but like it was just like that was just like really like just terrible. Like oh
that
my
Will
God.
Smith. Like
I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's been rumors about him for a long time being a creep. You know, I think, and I'm not to make excuses for anybody, but I think at a certain point, like when you have so much money and you don't know what to do, like at a certain point, you got to start exploring darker things to kind of get.
I was actually like wondering that too, because I was like, man, if I was famous and I like I don't understand all these famous dudes going to jail for like rape,
it's just
like all
crazy.
That stuff. Because
like,
I'm like, dude, I'd use my fame to get laid all the time. Like you could. Like I don't know why they're not. Like
human beings
are charisma.
They just feel the need like they have to use the money to bid it. I'm just like, but you can literally just I don't know. You could support sex workers. Like hello, like you could support sex workers.
There's always somebody out there willing. I just don't know why you would want somebody that's not. Like,
it's not about that, you guys. It's human beings have we don't understand our own sexuality and our own like our own desire, like all the, you know, the weird stuff that's buried in there. And when you put yourself in a position of power and extreme wealth, you're like everybody has some sort of creepy stuff that they're capable of. Like we all have a little bit of, you know, madness in there somehow. But those people at a certain point, they start to experiment with it and indulge in it. And a lot of people just go nuts. But humans are complex creatures, you know, like we don't understand it. And there's not, they don't just have doctors that understand it either, that you can go to and like, you know, have a conversation, be like, hey, I'm having these weird thoughts. I'm thinking about like what Traton was saying about Will Smith and how they put like they put like a bunch of creepy stuff in his hotel room, insinuate like AIDS medicine, like insinuating they were gonna he was gonna get raped or something. It's like
oh my gosh,
it's pretty creepy.
All new to me.
Like that is like it's just like I couldn't imagine just like walking into a hotel room and not seeing anyone else there, but just seeing a whole bunch of. I'm like, Girl, what's going on here?
Yeah,
Hold
I
up.
don't know why nobody's investigating J-Lo after being with P. Diddy for all those years either.
Because
Because they're all a gang. They're all a gang of good
that's
time
right.
friends.
They're in the club. We're not in
I'm
it.
telling you, you guys, I only skirted on the edges of wealth and the wealthiest in the town I live in. And there are some of them are very kind and amazing. Most are some of the most boring people you've ever met in your life. They have nothing going but money, and that's it. Like, and when you have idle hands, they do the devil's work. You have nothing to do, and you're just like, guess I'll just like get my hair done again, or I guess I'll just like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
some people
exactly.
just don't have anything better to do than just be chaos.
Go to a sex party and creep people out. Yep. Sometimes that's all you can do. I don't know what to do. That's too much money. How many yachts can you buy? How many helicopters can you learn to fly? Like,
you get lost in the story. You really do. You lose track of where reality really is when you can, make one up. Yeah.
But not to like, go too off of topic about that, because I was gonna like talk about something else too.
Sorry. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to like let y'all know that I was still like, looking at this stuff too. But yeah. So back to the Jupiter and Gemini thing. So I did mention that there is going to be an opposition a couple of more days, like with the sun going opposing it, then Venus, then Mars opposing it as well. So there's going to be a lot of conflictions with like belief systems over the information that we're getting, because I think. Because like right now we're still in the whole, well, like, oh, I see this on the internet, or I see this in the newspaper, or this in the newsletter, or this on this article. But I think with this opposition, people are not gonna like read into stuff. People are going to, I think on the sun side of things, they're just gonna be too proud and probably gonna be too like, it's gonna be too, well, I'm too good for this. I don't have to read this. I'm Sagittarius right now. I can be as overconfident as I would like, and I know everything. And then Venus being like, oh well, let's actually expand, guys. Let's expand this. Who knows? I mean, we could just try something different. Let's try to read this. Let's try to hear it out. Here comes Mars. No, let's not read it out. I don't want to read this shit. Get this out.
Yeah, right. Action. I want action.
but like, no, seriously though, like all of this will be motivated from a place of personal wounds and stuff, because like Sagittarius does kind of like, rule over that as well. I don't really hear too many astrologers talk about that part, but right now we're still like in a season where we are all like kind of addressing some things that kind of hit us deep a little bit, like because Sagittarius, especially like whenever like even on the show, or just like even when other like astrologers talk about like Chiron, for example. Well, I use like a lot of Greek stories, and I'll use other stories too, but I use some Greek stories to kind of like understand like the Western framework I'm in, because I'm based in the West, so like, hey. And then not only that, but also the constant links to America, to Greco-Roman, culture and stuff. I'm like, okay, all right. But anyways, like, it's just like when I think about Chiron and think about the wounded healer, I think all of us are still like, we're still going through this trial and period right now. Like as we're speaking right now, maybe it'll get better like in another week or so, but like we're still looking at wounds. We're still looking at being looked at as an outcast, being looked at a freak show. We're still trying to like kind of present ourselves in a way where it's like, we're trying to present ourselves in a way where it's like we're trying to appeal a little bit so we can be taken seriously, because like, Chiron was not really, taken. I mean, he was seen as a freak show because he was half man, half centaur. Like he didn't really, vibe with everybody. Not everyone didn't really, like him. Now, he did end up becoming a mentor through all of that, trial and error and all of that pain that he went through. But, I do just want to like, just say that, for everybody, like, we're still kind of going through this time for a little bit, and like New Year's in general, because they happen in Sidereal Sagittarius, it's always going to be a time where we're still addressing those things. So please, y'all, like, just follow accordance to nature. Just rest some and do a little. and rest some again and then do a little, but don't be, trying to do so much just so you can be approved, because it's like, it's not worth it in the end. And not only that, right now, it's like, the time is really calling you to just really kind of think about your belief systems first. Think about what it is that you've been told. Think about the story of your life and how you want to change that around. But don't just think that you're, invincible. Like, you're not invincible. Things will hit you, especially with that Mars and Sagittarius. Like, it's going to hit you like this. Like, okay. So, just hang tight. We're almost out of this period. Like, thank God.
I know. I think all of those, the sun and all of those inner planets meeting with Pluto are going to really highlight power dynamics for a lot of people, like where they're weak in power and where they're strong in power. And being right across, in opposition with Jupiter, it's going to be really hard to hear the same stories over and over again. Jupiter, I think, is going to be coming out of his retrograde around then. And like Jupiter is the stories we tell ourselves, and we're just not, I think all of those same stories, the same propaganda, the same things you hear over and over on the news that you just know aren't true. They're going to continue, and it's going to get more dystopian. I think, anyway, we could see a more dystopian type of narrative coming out, like, because we all believe this is what's going to happen next, or like some kind of weird power move. But yeah, by the time we have this conjunction with Saturn and Neptune, it all kind of winds down through the springtime. But by July, you have Mars with Uranus, conjunct Uranus, right on, squaring the lunar nodes and Taurus. So I think we're going to see some action there too. I mean, we could definitely see some power moves happening, disruptions, things that have to do with like our money, our resources, our homes, our, food. I mean, Taurus is all of those things that sustain us. So I think we could definitely see some shocking changes. I mean, definitely the financial institutions are scrambling. We have digital money, we have regular money. United States is trying to get rid of money. They're like, hey, yeah, we have all the money. So really. You guys can just go online and we'll just scan you and let you, like, I don't know what the hell they're trying to do, but when you take away the people's right to even like bargain, to even barter, to do anything, like people think it's a good idea because it's what they use every single day. Oh, I use my phone every day. Oh, I use this every day. It's a slow conditioning to take away everything from you. So that, I don't know. I don't trust the government. Never have, never will. I just don't see them helping us in a way like, oh, this new shit's going to help you. Oh, you're already using your phone all the time. Like I just, ooh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Sorry.
We talked about that before. I do think Saturn moving into Pisces, which it already did.
Yeah.
But moving in there, especially with Neptune, we've talked about that a few times. I see a lot of people pulling away from technology and trying to like go back some ways. And I think it's happening, but obviously you don't hear about that. You mostly just see whatever's on the news, and they're always going to push, the narrative and whatever cyborg technology that they have. Cause that's how, that's what the billionaires want. God, I hate sounding like this. I like, but I mean, conspiratorial, but like for real though. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with being a billionaire. We're talking about like the oligarchs and stuff. There are a lot of nice billionaires out there, guys, who are very charitable and kind, good human beings. Trish says, I'm not on social media. I try to curate my YouTube so that I don't bring too much news across my feed. I saw that the U.S. kidnapped the Venezuelan president, and I was like, that is some Grand Theft Auto shit right there. And you were correct. Trish also says, Enki not going to get a drop on me this coming season. Hell no, single, celibate, and free of the bullshit. Good to hear. A world of bliss. How does Nutty Yahoo have money to give when we, the people of the United States, send them millions? That's the money that he has to give. It's not his money. It's the people in the United States. Chris Davidson says, hey, I missed the start. Don't worry. We had technical difficulties. We're like 15 minutes late anyways. Mary Mystic Lorna says, doubt the drugs. The oil makes sense. Drill, baby, drill. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, I heard. Now, I don't know how true it is. You never know. But Donald Trump swears up and down, and the people around him say that he's never even had a drink of alcohol, which, and he doesn't take substances. Now, I heard that he does eat medicine, like cold medicine, like Sudafed, which is basically, low grade methamphetamine. So who knows? Trish says can we at some point, if not today, but in the near future, discuss what should be the beginning of the new year? I'm kind of deep diving into the history of that throughout the world right now. Mesopotamian, Babylonian, you're looking at spring equinox. Obviously, in some cultures, it's going to be the rebirth of the sun around, midwinter. I think it's probably, if I'm just guessing, yeah, we can definitely talk about it. I think Gary said it was a Vedic was also spring equinox, or at least astrologically speaking. So yeah, I do a few different New Years. My personal New Year is I do my birthday, because it's on the 18th, right by the winter solstice anyways, and it's close to the solstice. So I usually kind of cram them in all together that way. I don't know if that's helpful at all. Mary Mystic Lorna says, Trump has been off the rails since fallout with Republicans and Elon, back to making deals instead of voter support. Yeah, he's done. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit anymore. So that's unfortunate. Normally, they care about continuity. That is the one benefit of like having somebody who is a part of the machine, is that they're going to also try to get the next guy elected, and he doesn't care. He does not care at all.
Because I don't think he plans on leaving, actually. Maybe he will. I don't know. He straight up said, I want to be a dictator. I want to rule the world. I want to well, he didn't say that. Okay, I'm lying. But making this shit up.
The whole king thing. Well, he didn't make it, but like he got someone to make the whole king thing. So I'm like, he
wouldn't turn it down, I'm sure. If somebody handed it to him, for sure. But he lost the support of his voters. Like, there's still some of the cult members are still hanging on, but the vast majority of people are like, no. But you know what? Good on him for doing that, because all of these people who still believed in the system and believed that their vote matters, I think those people have been completely disillusioned. And they don't believe that there's any hope. And again, not that that's a good thing to have. You want people to have faith in a just institution. But when your institutions are corrupt, you don't want people to just keep supporting them and believing in them. Mm-hmm. The United States was founded on violence and extreme violence over a 3% T-tax. Among other things. But, that was the straw that, that broke the camel's back, right? So, let's not pretend that, sometimes you don't got to burn shit down. Sometimes
I know we lost it over lesser things in the past. So, I studied the Uranus transits through Taurus, and it's the insanity it's there. Uranus through Taurus has been liberating lots of different countries. As soon as it entered, people have been burning down government buildings and then going after their houses too. This is some serious shit. Uranus doesn't mess around, and wants to level it all out. Everybody needs to be on equal footing, and that's kind of equality isn't there. It's something that people want, but it's not present. It's just not present when it comes to
know that I talked about it on here, or if I was talking to one of my clients about it. I think it was the latter, but it's one people will we talk about sometimes, why doesn't anybody ever do anything? And it's because they have still enough level of comfort that they kind of just, it's still good enough. It's not so bad that they're willing to rise up or do anything. But when you start, I really think that they're pushing people to their limit, because now not only are you taking their freedoms, you're raising their taxes, you're taking their only options toward healthcare, you're starting new wars, you're bailing out other countries, and you can't afford eggs and milk and gas in your car. That's a perfect storm. People at a certain point, they will break. So no matter how good the technology is, you know, you can give somebody the slot machine to scroll and make them feel warm and fuzzy, but when they can't feed their belly, you know, that's it's not going to work anymore. So I don't know, you guys. I wasn't expecting. I didn't look at it ahead of time. I didn't want to look at it first. I like to be surprised, but it's not looking great for this year. I think we're going to see. I kind of get the sense that the United States is going to try to invade Greenland, and that is just like, I'm just disgusted. I'm so disgusted, and I just don't even. It's gross. This whole kidnapping the leader. Yeah. Can you guys imagine? Can you imagine if Putin did that to Zelensky? And
holy shit! Everybody would lose their goddamn minds.
They would. They would lose it.
They'd call everybody in. They'd be like, "This bully, he's a bully." Yeah. Trump does it, and they're just like, "Well, what do we do? What do we do? Whose payroll are you on? Is it about money even, or is it about a divine plan? Like, who knows?
Trump? No, I think
the whole world shut down during COVID. You know, the whole world. Epstein's shit was on fire, and we're about to find out everything. And they're like, guess what? You're all sick now. We're shutting everything down now. I think we're going to see the same type of challenges where, you know, the Jupiter-Saturn cycle is going to come into a square the beginning of the middle-ish beginning of the year. I mean, it's always coming in and out of it. But those challenges bring up exactly what we dealt with when it was seated with Pluto at the end of Sagittarius, you know, using your own beliefs against you, manipulating you to think, like, if you care about people, you'll listen to us. You know, if you want to do the right thing, what's morally correct, you'll wear the mask. You know, like that kind of shit is manipulative. And if you don't care about the world, well, then what do you care about? You're selfish, you know, like it's weird. And they're using like psychology really to totally manipulate we all fell for it because we never had experienced anything like this before. And I think we're going to continue to see that.
It is it is a new time, that's for sure. We're living in an extremely interesting time in human history.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here. I guess I'll watch it burn down. I don't know, but I'm here for it.
But like, no, seriously though, like, there's nothing really that I guess we can. I'm not gonna say there's nothing we can do about like none of the other type of stuff. No, I'm saying like there's nothing we can do about like what's just about to come ahead, because it's like even if we manage to like, you know, get that thing out of office, you know, like
then somebody else will step up that has the same like
I think the lesson that I think I seen people learn though was that because I kind of like tied this back in with Saturn and Pisces, like I think when you are in a system, right, and you experience abuse or violence at the hands of that system, through someone who's supposed to be your public servant, I think like it does one thing to you where it's like it kind of completely incapacitates you with shock because you didn't expect that. But I mean, with Trump, I feel like people should have expected that. But I'll just say in general also, because like this is also like global again, like, you know, like what we've been talking about, like because in general you don't really expect that. Like I think some people, especially like Republicans, or even other people, like even when it comes to like even Japan, like one of those prime ministers over there, or even when it comes to like goes back to Israel, like for example, it's like when you don't really expect nothing to be popping off, but like that expectation is only informed by a lack of knowledge because you know, like you were completely propagandized to believe like one certain thing. I think like a lot of people think that there is no hope, but like, you know, I think right now with this transit, I think it's challenging us to have hope, but we just have to stop, you know, always praying that somebody else will just come in and step in. It's like
amazing. Like, I think yes. Thanks for saying it. You're absolutely right. Gary said it in his 2026 prediction too. Like you're right. I think it has a lot to do with the Neptune Saturn. Like people want to be saved. There's that martyrdom. There's that victimization. You know, there's a lot of that going on. Well, we'll just wait for the aliens to save us. You know, like that's what he had said. And I was like, oh, like
even when you consider like the Abrahamic, because a lot of the people who are like, you know, okay with this stuff, like they're Christian, they're like, well, God's got me, God's got this, I'm like, yes, okay, I respect that, you know, I believe in God too. Hey, hello, hi. But you know, my thing is that like God can have you, but you need to also have God too, and you also need to be like trying to actively like, you know, bring out the Pisces, like the unconditional love aspect, the altruism, but not altruism based off of like this just wanting to just do everything for everyone else and not receive anything in return. I think we're now even understanding that. I think the problem is that a lot of people still in these days, in these quote unquote last days, they don't feel heard. And so everybody's like, they're scattered. They're all over the place. They're all in the waters. They're swimming all over. Like there's chaos, but it's just like, I think what needs to happen is that people need to come back to, they need to definitely come back to their dreams. They need to come back to what do they actually want to do? How can they actually, because that would be a way that they actually contribute. How do they actually want to help? How do they actually, and also what is needed to like get away from this kind of social isolation that has become kind of popularized? Because it's like, I think like even with this transit, it's like we've seen like kind of the popularization of people just not wanting to talk to anybody anymore. And I get it. It's so totally Pisces within good reason. Like, it's not like it's not within good reason, because it totally is within good reason. I mean, like bitches are crazy out here. Like seriously, you could really like, you don't know what's gonna go on. But I think it's just like when we all like get ourselves into the spaces that we need to be in, or the places that we need to be in order to effectively make that change, like a lot of people are doing like right now on the ground. Because like I know that there are people like, I know that I brought up the AI supercomputer thing, but I also know that there are people who are, you know, becoming mayors in Memphis. Like, oh, I think there's a mayor election thing going on. If it already passed, I don't know. But if it hasn't passed, then I'm pretty sure it's going on, and they're, you know, going to do something about that. And then I also know that like even here in Arkansas where I live, like, you know, there's also about to be a mayor election. So I think the thing is that you kind of have to engage in the system in order to like push out all of the bad. It's kind of like that thing where it's like what Abby was talking about, like how she was talking about like the Jupiter Mars conjunction that's about to happen later. And how like we haven't seen like Jupiter like on top of Mars like this. Well, I don't know if that's like what you meant, Abby. I don't know if that's what you meant, but like yeah, anyways, like how Jupiter is like kind of pushing Mars out, and then like Mars comes right back around. It's like it's kind of that same thing that's like happening with people, and like with common people and with people in positions of power. It's like we're kind of feeling pushed out a little bit, but then you just before you even knew it, like we turn right the fuck back around, do that U-turn, and now we're sitting over here like like we're going at it. And like my thing is that like even for me, it's like I've had to think about like, what does that look like? What does that work look like? What does that even like? How could I even offer that? And it's like, I don't think that I would want to, you know, be a mayor or be someone working in office. But I think though on a smaller level, like I think, you know, sometimes when it comes to even doing, you know, astrology, it's like, you know, I use this like kind of in a practice of mine as a therapeutic practice for me. So it's like, you know, I will use it, you know, sometimes in order to like hit at like maybe some more issues, or I'll even use the astrology to like kind of talk about other things. And it's like, you know, I feel like I've helped like some people actually move onto a different page with their lives because of it. Well, it's not solely only the astrology, because it's not only like the therapy or the astrology that will help somebody, right? But it's just like the simple nudge that will push them back out there to actually live and actually, you know, like be in their wild expression. Because I think like that's what we have to like kind of connect back to. It's like another astrologer that I've seen, like, you know, her name is Dr. Nicole Rouse, but she's really an anthropologist, but she also does astrology too. But like, you know, she talks a lot about politics and astrology, and she kind of combines the things like hand in hand. And like, you know, she's always talking about this concept of like, you know, coming back to the body, and that, you know, I mean, but she does tropical astrology, so it's like I have to like literally translate all of the messaging, but like I just listen to the messages nonetheless. And basically it's like we have to come back to our bodies, we have to come back to ourselves, we have to, you know, get away from just like what we were expected to be, one, what we were told to be, the things that we're told about other people. Like we have to really get away from those things. We have to really like kind of like ground down. And what does that even look like? Because I think a lot of people know what grounding down like sounds like, but I don't think like they know what it is. And it really means that like even like when you feel like you're supposed to be on, it's like you have to like kind of turn, like you have to like be so grounded in yourself where it's like you can realize that you can handle most situations with just a little bit of communications. For example, like you don't have to like always go to like trying to jump to like trying to show people, oh, like this is what I am, this is who I am, this is where I stand, right? Because I think a lot of people even think that doing the work is just taking a stance, but it's not just taking a stance, it's getting out there and actually, you know, talking to people, communing with people safely, of course, safely safely, all right, but like it's getting out there and actually being amongst the people. And this is also Pisces as well, like, and I see this even more. I see this too. Like, I think like a lot of people, but I think this might be just because of the North Node in Aquarius. And like, I think like it's like pushing us towards wanting to find social organizations. But I think the way that people will do this, like more like, I don't want to sound too Virgo here, but correctly is like if you actually align with people who match your values in the first place. And I think that also kind of links itself back to the Jupiter and Gemini conversation, because there's so much of an expansion over our small beliefs, over our local community. Like I think the reason why like we're seeing all this focus just only like on where we are at a specific time, like, you know, we could talk about the US, we could talk about, you know, uh Russia and Ukraine. We can also talk about Bangladesh. And my thing is like it all goes hand in hand, because we really have to, like Jupiter is telling us, you got to focus on where you're at, babes. Like you can't just be everywhere. Because like if you're trying to help these people over here, like where are they going to come to if you're trying to offer up space? You know what I'm saying? Like you have to offer up some space. Like you got to make a space. And so what does that mean for us over here in America? It means that we got to get off our asses and we got to get out there and do things like some students at my university are doing, like, you know, get out there and march about this damn AI. So please tell this bitch ass Elon that, hey, no, bitch, stop using our fucking great ass water for your stupid ass games. Like, we ain't got time for this. No, I gotta eat, I gotta drink, I gotta sleep. Okay. And then not only that, I got a love life to get to. I'm sorry.
Right.
Like,
I mean, shit, we don't let's not even talk about what the rockets are doing to the air. Okay.
Oh,
Shoots
yeah,
those up
that
in the air.
too.
You know what? That the whole thing is absurd too, because they're suppressing free energy technology. Like they've had it for decades and they just won't give it to us. There's no need to use any fossil fuels, use up any of the water. Like they can already do this. They just won't do it because again, of all of the corruption. It's a generational problem, and it will take centuries to solve all of this.
It's going to take some time. It definitely is going to take some time. And we see that actually with Pluto moving into Capricorn, and it's not in Aquarius, okay? Like, I know the people who watch this are they know, but I have to just say it, right? Because that's the main story out there right now. So it's Aquarius. It's like Pluto's gonna like liberate us. Like what the hell? Like I'm hearing this stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay.
And my thing is,
you're gonna be in for it.
I sometimes feel like we don't even have to like use the outer planets. I feel like they can just be extensions, like sometimes like for just the regular like 5 planet, catalysts. But yeah, it's like no, because like with tropical, it's like saying that Pluto's in Aquarius, it's like you're trying to say that like the death is like happening in the organizations in the front. And I mean, okay, to some extent, yes, but also let's not push that message, because that's not, because we don't need that message right now. We do not need that.
Transforming structures, but they're governmental structures. They're structures that sustain us, that help us. Capricorn, I love the way Abby describes Capricorn. You've got a lot of devotion, you got a lot of love in Capricorns, right across from Cancer. I mean, why wouldn't you? I don't see the coldness. I don't see. So these systems, these things that we've been dedicated to, that we've put a lot of heart space into, they're all crumbling beneath our feet. They aren't sustainable. Yes. And we're figuring that out because the times have changed, and people have changed, our beliefs have changed. You don't even we have Christianity, but it's not the dominant religion anymore. People have looked at the church, they've looked at religion, and they're like, hey, you know what? I don't believe in the devil. I believe men are evil. I don't believe that some weird guy in the sky or underground is doing all of this shit.
Yes,
your generation, my kids, dude, my kids are your age, okay? Like, dude, they used to laugh at me. Like, I remember telling them about the scary movies I used to watch. All right, and I was like, you guys cannot watch this movie, It. It was the original It,
I'm screaming. No.
I was like, wait for me to get home. We'll watch it together. Well, they watched it while I was at work. And then they laughed at me when I got home because they're like, you thought that was scary? Like, and they made fun of me. And I was like, stop. I'm traumatized. Like, it didn't scare you? No. You guys, you're Pluto and Scorpio. You guys ain't scared of anything.
Yeah.
You're not afraid of shit. You certainly aren't afraid of some made-up devil. I'll tell you that much.
That's exactly it. Like,
you guys are gonna change some shit. I'm positive of it. I'm so positive of it. Hell yeah, dude. The world belongs to the youth. At some point in time, the people that are clinging to power are going to have to realize that you need to relinquish it at some time.
Exactly.
And we don't. We have a lot of people whose Plutos are in Leo who are like, no, I'm the authority. I'm the one in charge. Only I know how to do this. And it's a real weird, like, not everybody has it, but it's a real weird mentality that they have around control, around status. And, this makes me important. And if I show somebody else how to do this, well, then I'm not important anymore. I'm replaceable. I was a little bit
scared of,
dude, that's what we've seen over the past few, years. When I was, I've seen it. I'm seeing it.
That's why
it's not everybody. It's like half the world, it's like the polarity, theory or concept where, half of us are like, let's revolt. And the other half are like, no, we need to stay on track. And it's never the same, like, group of people going, you know what, fuck this shit. Let's just do something about it. But eventually we all fall on the same tracks, and we all got to do something before that train comes and hits us. And we're seeing it. We're just seeing it happen.
Well, that's actually a good point just in general. We talk a lot of smack here about all of these corrupt systems, but really it's all our own fault. Like, every one of us, kind of like Traton was saying, like, we're all individually responsible for not necessarily the collective, but our own lives. Like, where are we dropping the ball in our personal lives, in our personal relationships, in our community? Like, how many of us are involved with our town, like the school board or the city council? Like, how many of us actually go to those things? So we're all guilty of it to some extent. We're all
disassociating from it. Like, we've kind of, I think the belief becomes, well, what good is it anymore? Because we've seen other people fight for what's right and the systems are completely corrupt. So we see people abandoning it, but the system's still running.
But I mean more. Okay, so, like, I'm looking at it more as it's an extension of our own personal individual corruption, our own so like we all eat poison, like we all sit down and at some point in our day eat the brain rot that's being fed to us. Like, none of us are pristine here, and our governments, yes, they represent the worst dredges of our society at this point. But we can make a difference, but everything starts in the individual's life. Like, and I do think that is one of the powers of natal astrology in particular, is to it allows you to understand yourself, what you came here for. Somebody said something, they were like, oh, I don't believe that I don't know who it was, probably wasn't important, I just heard it in passing. They're like, there's nothing that says what you came here to do, what your mission is. It kind of does, though. It gives you a roadmap.
Abby. Okay, I wanted to actually touch on that a little bit because yeah. So I had like notes about like the sun because ever since like last year, but specifically like in I think June, July. That is when I transitioned over to Sidereal Astrology. And yes, I know like y'all are gonna be like, oh, that was a relatively short amount of time. Oh my God. but no, seriously, I've been doing astrology for like 3 years. So it's like, yeah. But
so the switch was easy then.
And yeah, it was easy. It was after that Scorpio full moon, or yes, Scorpio full moon that happened around that time. I think it was June, July. I don't remember. Y'all probably know or probably remember exactly if it was June or July, but
I'm sure I was crying. I was anything Scorpio. I was just like,
but I was about to say that the sun actually can tell you about your prophecy and stuff. Like I feel like the sun, and if there's any aspects, I feel like this can be a first little tipping point for a lot of people, because a lot of people like sun sign astrology for some reason. So okay, all right, okay, let's give it to them, right? But let's give you the sidereal. Let's give you the actual, let's give you the actual thing. So I'll just take me for example, like being a Virgo. It's like I came here to help with something. I came here to, be in service of something. But I also came here to learn how to be free, learn how to be autonomous, learn how to be agent over my own self and not depend, on things. Now, okay, I just for y'all to like get a perspective. Virgo sun, Mars, Jupiter, all conjunct Mercury and Leo, South Node Libra, Venus in Cancer in the first house, and Saturn in Cancer. Then there's also the North Node in Aries. So y'all kind of like, got like walk along, and Moon in Scorpio, 29 degrees. Like, so y'all kind of walk along with me as I'm like kind of like talking about this. But yeah, like when it comes to like me, for example, people can't really get to doing things all the time because of like, that's why I always say that, like, even when it comes to Saturn and Pisces, like I understand why people just don't want to like do anything socially anymore. And like I can even see it in my own chart. It's like for me, it's like my purpose. I came here to be free. I came here to be autonomous. Came here to be the maiden, right? Like I came here to be like, not tied down by any contract. But guess what? That 29 degrees of Scorpio is so close to like the first degrees of Sagittarius. It's like it's squaring off with my sun, my Mars, and my Jupiter. And so a lot of that story has been, oh, my family has kind of affected me in that purpose. My family has kind of like, conditioned me. But on the other side of that, it's like also these expectations, or that this expectation that I be perfect, or that I be, that I be flawless, elegant. And while I do like being those things, it's hard to do that when it comes to like one of the first problems that anyone will ever encounter, their family. And my thing is, because these, the reason why these systemic, I want to say this to everyone, like the reason why like it's so important to you is because it really does trickle down to you, because the thing that's going on in the world is trickling down to you, and how you even help your own family, or how you even communicate with them. And it's like, even for me, it's like I had to like snap out of like because it's like I went through, and I'm not trying to trauma dump here, but I went through like abuse at the hands of my father. So like, when it came to, all of this Saturn and Pisces stuff, it's like I even had to realize what were my own lessons, even in that abuse. Like, what did I have to do in order to like get out of that situation? Like, and like no one I'll just say this, no one who's a child should even have to even be going through that, and then has to be going all throughout their adolescence, and then like going, you know, into early adulthood, like kind of confused. Nobody should have to do that. But also, like, even in that confusion, it's like I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much about the world. I'm learning so much. And I think Jupiter and Gemini really does help people like me in a way, because it's like, well, I get to actually like see all this stuff in real time. I get to, you know about the stuff that you and Nikki and Abby have like known for like years. It's like it's sped up like all of that information to me. And I mean, that's kind of in part because of the internet, but also, like I think if people really do kind of connect and like really witness themselves like in their purpose, it's like I like, or even for example, for like y'all too. Now I'm not gonna speak totally for y'all lives and stuff, but I think, wait, Nikki, are you a Pisces sun?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
And
am.
then Abby, you have Sagittarius sun, right?
Yep,
Okay.
that's me.
Yep. Okay. So I mean, this is not, y'all already know this is not all of y'all, but like I kind of like, witness some things as like y'all would like have other shows and stuff. And like I don't know, like I kind of seen like, how it pans out. Like I think, Nikki, did you also say you were a Leo rising too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, like for example, it's like, I feel like you definitely came here to sacrifice something, or to like kind of to experience like what it means to give unconditional love. It's like in your life, it's like you definitely, even as a mother, it's like there could have been even times where it's like you had points of contention with your own kids. I'm only saying this because like I'm kind of like assuming that you're born around the same time that my mom was born around in Pisces. I don't know. Like, but it's like I think that even with you having it in the eighth house, it's like I think about things that you're doing now. It's like you're an astrologer, you're going into the
Yeah.
depths, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is like where you're living this
Oh,
prophecy
dude,
out.
it
Or
gets
even when it
deeper
comes to
too.
Abby, it's like I think, Abby, you said you were a Virgo rising.
That is correct.
I think like even with the fourth house and stuff, like, and with your son in Sagittarius, it's like you also like have dealt with a lot of travel things. And like I also wanted to like bring that up too, like with the current transits happening now, like where we're at now in January, like all of us are like kind of looking into like, moving some places. But I think I remember from like a show like last year, where you were talking about like just relocation astrology, and you were talking about relocating to, different places and stuff. And I think even just like, I think even you, it's like you came here to, teach about things. Like you're definitely a teacher, definitely. Like you definitely even have like your own courses and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's okay, period. Like we're getting somewhere. And then I think with the fourth house, I think it's like you bring all of that stuff home, or you bring all of that stuff like to your like kind of emotions to your body. And like it's like you're able to like kind of, I guess you're like able to like filter a lot of things, and you're able to like also like kind of engage with your own like unique magic in a way. Like because I also like associate the moon or the fourth house with like something magical. Like now I'm not gonna uh, that was like my try at like, trying to like read y'all's, charts that I have not seen.
Yeah,
But
that's really
like,
good though.
but my but my thing is, it's like even for me in the third house, it's like, me wanting to do this channel, or like do a channel, or me going to social media about like some of this stuff, or even me just talking things out to people, like, doing talk therapy. Like that's kind of how it manifests. And it didn't really click to me until like, like a month ago. And I was like, wait a minute. I think the house is like the area where you do it in, but the sun is like kind of like what you're actually like maybe doing. So it's like I think one way that everyone can start that work is that they can connect to that sun, and they can, because I mean the thing is that we haven't always been connected to our sun signs. Like we have not. Like I've noticed that with astrology, it's like you have, like it's like there's like this kind of level of intimidation to what that even means. It's like, but it always happens like early in age. Like for me, for example, it's like I never really knew the importance of organized or cleanly spaces, even in a spiritual sense, until I'm at my age now. And I'm like, now I realize like, how important that is. Like, so it's like, even with other people who've had like sun signs and stuff, I think a lot of times people don't resonate with it because I mean, well, for the obvious fact that they're probably doing tropical, but also, but also, but also, it's just like, I think like sometimes it can be imposing, because it's like, well, what does it mean for me to be this servant? What does it mean for me to do this? What does it mean for me to do that? And then what about me? What about what I want to do in life? Well, it's like I had to realize that it's not saying that I can't do anything for myself. It's like I just had to get away from that stereotype of what a Virgo is supposed to be like. Oh yeah, you're a helper, you're this, you're that,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
You don't have any
hold the
boundaries.
brains.
You just
You
do it.
you're
Yeah, right.
Is
you're
that
a
what they
coat
say?
maker, you're a purse, you're a book bag, you're this, that, and the third. And I'm like, but that's not who I am. But then because that I lived my identity as that for other people, like especially like even when it comes to things like, you know, about like how certain identity markers affect my own self-esteem, it's like I completely let that wash me up. And it wasn't until like, you know, 2 years ago where I realized, you know what, that's not who I am. Like, that is not who I want stuff too. And, you know, even lo and behold, as I learned more about astrology, I'm like, even the astrology proves that that's not the entirety of who I am. That's not even the basis, but that is something that I came here maybe to do, or that's something I came here to express. And with that being said, it's like, I think it's even important for me to like kind of like get into the community that I'm in and really like kind of help people on the inside, and then think about like trying to make homes or make spaces for others, because it's just like you can't do two things at once. I mean, you can try, but like you can't really, you know, try to just juggle all of that for yourself. And I think like even for other people around the world, because I know I'm not the only one, you know, who experiences an energy like this, like I think they can also like connect to what they were kind of called here to do, and uh, help that way. But you know, that's gonna look different for everybody. So okay.
I think that's part of, again, like I just described it. I mean, that's the value of astrology. That's what it's, you know, the most powerful thing that it can do is help you tune into yourself and on a deeper level. I don't know how people could do that with tropical, but whatever.
I don't
I guess,
now.
I,
I'm just like,
I
now I
tried to
don't.
make it work. I tried for so many years. You guys, 15 years of doing clients, okay? Like, you know their birthdays, you know their family birthdays, you know everything, and you're trying to make the astrology stuff connect. And I've been told over and over by my guides, you're going to do astrology, do it, you do it. And they even started talking to me, like using the words exalt, you'll be exalted. You'll be like, they started using the terminology. I'm like, fine, I'll do it. But it didn't actually click or make sense until I started using the real sky. And I regret not listening sooner. Maybe I could have got on board a little bit faster, but whatever.
It happens right when it's supposed to happen. No regrets.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, it happened for me just in the span of just like my 4th year doing astrology. I'm like, yay.
Yeah, hell yeah. I love that. You're right though. The sun really is like the hero's journey, like theme song of the story, you know? Like mine is right on the chord of Pisces, that southern fish. And you know, there's a lot of karmic stuff going on. There's a lot of I'm undoing a lot of knots and fixing and improving. It's really more of like a metamorphosis. I see Pisces as that ocean of metamorphosis, because you come out of the other end of it a completely different person. And that's what Saturn is really doing. It being there with Neptune too is just a whole nother level of a heart spaced like spirituality. Like I use like Neptune to me has been my connection to the other side. Like I use Neptune to communicate, you know, and do psychic work and stuff like that. It's confusing. Neptune is heinous too. I don't fully understand Neptune at all, but I really feel like with this, you know, transition or transit with Saturn, it really wants to align us with where our heart center is, with where spirit wants us, with, you know, God, whoever. Like this is like a karmic signature. And as Saturn moves out of Pisces, you know, they'll move farther away. The pressure will get a little bit easier for a lot of different people. But I feel like you're being shown through, you know, symbols and you know, music and those types of things every day, like how Neptune can, you know, communicate with you. It's bizarre, it is, it's bizarre, but that's it is part of the process that Saturn is in right now. The last time Saturn was in Pisces was a complete metamorphosis for me too. And it was actually a terrible, terrible time. I'm not going to get into it, but I came out of the other end of that transit a completely transformed and like just a completely different person. So I think a lot of us are going to see that as Saturn transits out, but it's going to be a tough transit. I mean, it's a combination of so many different things. And like Saturn is the structure that sustains us, the boat that holds us, It's like, it's like going to be a little bit of a rough ride.
It kind of sucks being a college student right now because I got this in my 9th house, y'all. So it's like,
no, mine's in the 8th house. I ended a 25-year relationship. I ended a serious illness I had. Well, I wouldn't say end, but I'm on the better end of it.
What house are we talking about? What's going on?
Nikki was talking about her 8th house.
I was talking about my 8th house.
But what's going on in it that's causing that?
Oh, Saturn, Neptune. Plus, I got square the node. I got square town.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Major square town over here. So that's not going to end for.
I can't think of where my Saturn and Neptune are right now.
But I'm learning to grow up and live with it. I'm like, all right, Saturn, fine. I'll grow up.
Wait, I also heard that Neptune, well, I didn't really hear, but like, I just also like kind of looked into Neptune. It's also been like kind of associated with earthquakes. So, take that how you will, but like, I kind of think that it's probably another vantage point of like kind of shaking the foundations a little bit. Because like when I think about earthquakes, I think about like how all of the like destruction is caused because there's a shift going on with tectonic plates. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, all right.
I know. I just feel like with Neptune and Pisces, we're having a really hard time shutting off the emotions and shutting it off. I mean, everybody's kind of having to face their demons, and I think that has a lot to do with what Saturn's doing. Like, face your delusions here. Like, what is the reality? Like, Neptune likes to imagine things, and I think Saturn's there like, hey, like, that's really cool. And I'm glad you have all of these like ideas and like spirits telling you this and that, but like, we got to structurize it. We got to contain it so we can focus it. And people struggle right now because, they don't know how to work the energy. They don't know what to do with it, and they'll settle into it. I mean, because it's been going on for a little while. But this year is just going to, I think, be really transformational for a lot of different people. It has a lot to do with that conjunction, and a lot to do with Uranus being square the lunar nodes too. So, I mean, we're just going to see a lot more change, like abrupt change. I think people are sick of the same old routine, the same old monotony. It's just the bullshit never ends. So what do? You choose a different path is what you do. You do something different. I'm seeing it with the people I see every day. And they're like, hey, you know what? I listened to you. I decided to do something else. I decided I'm going to go this path instead. I'm not going to do what I always do. And they're all like 100% of the time, shit starts working out better. And I'm like, oh, what do you know? Like, because doing the same thing all the time and expecting different results is madness. We all know that. But we all are doing it because we want to do what's familiar. We want to know what we know what works. And with the North Node being in Aquarius, that we don't know the future really. I mean, maybe some people can see it really clear. I mean, I got a good idea of what it looks like, but other people don't find security in not knowing, Yeah. And so like, there's a lot of, there can be a lot of insecurity. North Node isn't something people choose like because it's easy, Usually it's like a forced choice. Like, hey, I got to do this or nothing, like, and I think that's kind of what it's going to be like.
I think it's gonna, it's gonna be an interesting year, you guys. We're probably gonna have to wrap it up. I wish, you guys, I looked, I tried to find the rainbow here, and I think I think it's going to be not a rough year. I don't want to say that because again, we're looking at it globally, which means we have to look at larger world events. When it comes to an individual level, obviously these things are going to affect you differently. On a, I'm probably still going to be blissed out rainbows and sunshine over on my end.
Oh yeah, I need that. I need that because sometimes I'm doom and gloom. I love to hear like, oh, but Nikki, have you done it on? I'm like, oh my
God, it'll still be good. Even if whenever the world is burning and it's been happening since the dawn of civilization, okay, like you might still be having a great day. So don't get too hung up on any of the stuff. As a matter of fact, the less you know about the stuff going on in the world, the better you're gonna feel about it.
Absolutely.
So don't stress too much. Traton, it was awesome to have you today.
It was awesome for y'all to have me too.
Oh
yeah, tell us again where people can subscribe, where they can find you.
Oh, yes. Traton Astrology. It's just TRAT. Well, I mean, you already see my name, but yeah, just make sure to capitalize the T, make sure to capitalize the A, then you should see it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Also, wait, Abby,
go
can
ahead,
you tell me about that epic again? What was it called? Because you said Benjamin Foster's Tales something, and then the epic.
It's the Era Epic, ERRA.
Okay.
If you look up Benjamin Foster Era Epic, it will come up for you. But what is it? It's myth. Hold on, I'll let me check real quick. I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
Benjamin Foster myth Mesopotamia. It's called From Distant Days: Myth, Tales, and Poetry of Ancient Mesopotamia.
That's a good book. You can find it on thrift books too, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's absolutely it's amazing. He has great translations. Some of the more recent translations, they get colder and just they get real clinical after a while, and his are actually really good. So it's definitely worth looking. Traton Astrology, is that what you're asking, Trish? TRATON Astrology? Or Benjamin Foster's Myth, Tales, and Poetry of Ancient Mesopotamia. Either way, both places to check out.
Oh yeah. You
guys, Dr. Danny, there's a link it might not be in this video description. Go to the ISAA website, siderealinternational.org. Dr. Danny is doing a Hellenistic astrology workshop on, I believe, the 24th of January that you can register for free. You won't be able to watch the replay unless you're an ISAA member, but so definitely register, definitely come to it. She's also going to be on I believe the Wednesday prior to that, the 21st. We're going to be talking a little bit about Hellenistic astrology too. So you guys definitely register for that, okay? All the other links are in the description, and also on the events page on the ISAA page, you can see all of that stuff too. Do you guys have anything else that you?
I'm sure I did, but I'm drawing a blank.
Okay.
I wanted to leave everybody off with this picture.
I think you covered it, maybe.
Wait, did we really get everything? I'm sorry. I feel like I kind of tangented on a little bit.
You guys crushed it. Don't think too hard about it at all.
Well, I will leave y'all off with this picture.
Closer to the camera.
Oh, sorry.
It's tiny on mine. What are we looking at?
Wait, dang, it was a character portrait thingy.
It's just my screen is tiny.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, did you make that?
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
And I can do some more astrology art if y'all would like. I don't know if there would be anything to submit that, or Abby, if I could just email you that.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah,
absolutely.
Because I just thought about an idea about that epic, about the Pleiades talking to Mars. I was like, ooh, wait a minute, that kind of sounds fun. I can personify the weapons and stuff. But anyways,
my God, I know.
Yeah. Listen, Traton, if you have designs, if you want something to go on a object.
A t-shirt or
or cups or mugs or anything, or let us know. We definitely need designs for the ISAA, so we'll take anything you want to put out for sure.
I gotcha.
All right, awesome.
I love it.
Well, you guys, thank you so much to everybody. Who do we see in here? We saw Trish, we got Lorna, we got Whirls of Bliss. I saw Chris in here at some point. Thank you guys so much. You were on fire in the chat. So much fire. We didn't even have time to get to you, but we will get to you next week. You guys, love, joy, gratitude, bliss. I hope that this is your best year ever.
Yes.
Whatever's going on in the world, let it burn. Don't let it bother you.
Yeah, it'll be good for most people. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. All right, we'll be back same time next week. You guys take very good care of yourself.